Every believer goes through moments in life where the heart becomes heavy, where life feels confusing, where problems feel bigger than our strength, where the future seems uncertain and the path ahead looks dark. But in these moments, Allah gives us one of the greatest gifts, the gift of Tawakkul, trusting Him completely. Tawakkul is not just a word, it is not just a concept, it is a spiritual force, a shield, a comfort, a light in darkness, a power that transforms fear into peace, anxiety into calm, weakness into strength, and hopelessness into hope. Tawakkul is the heart's declaration. Ya Allah, I trust you more than I trust myself. I trust your plan more than my plans. I rely on you even when I do not understand what you are doing. And when this trust enters the heart, life becomes easier. Not because the problems disappear, but because the heart becomes stronger. Many people misunderstand Tawakkul. They think it means to sit and wait without effort. But in Islam, Tawakkul means you tie your camel and then trust Allah. You take action, you use your abilities, you plan your steps, but you place the results, the outcome, the final decision, entirely in the hands of Allah. Tawakkul is the balance between effort and surrender. It is the middle path between trying your best and trusting Allah with the rest. When you have this balance, you stop worrying about the future because you know the one who controls the future. You stop overthinking because you know Allah already wrote your story with wisdom. You stop panicking because you know Allah never leaves His servant alone. Look at the life of Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him. When he was thrown into the fire, he said, Allah is sufficient for me, and He is the best disposer of affairs. And Allah made the fire cool and safe. Look at the life of Prophet Musa, peace be upon him. When he stood between the Red Sea and the Pharaoh's army, his people panicked. But he said with full certainty, my Lord is with me. He will guide me. And Allah opened a path where there was no path. Look at the life of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. When he hid in the cave during Hijrah, and the enemies were right at the entrance, Abu Bakr, may Allah be pleased with him, worried. But the Prophet said, do not be sad. Allah is with us. And Allah protected them. Every miracle in the Qur'an began with Tawakkul, with complete trust in Allah during moments that seemed impossible. And the same Lord who protected His prophets is the same Lord who protects you today. The same Lord who opened the sea for Musa can open the path for you. The same Lord who cooled the fire for Ibrahim can cool the heat of your problems. The same Lord who protected the prophet in the cave can protect you in your darkest moments. Tawakkul is not a small thing. It is a power that transforms lives. But why do so many people today suffer from anxiety, fear, panic, stress, depression, and deep emotional pain? Because their trust is placed in the wrong things. They trust in people who will disappoint them. They trust in dunya, which will fade. They trust in their own plans, which will break. They trust in their own strength, which is limited. But when you trust in Allah, who never fails, who never sleeps, who never disappears, who never leaves, your heart becomes unshakable. A heart that trusts Allah is a heart at peace. There are 3 stages of Tawakkul, and every believer must strive to achieve them. 1. Trusting Allah with your efforts. This means you do everything you can. You work, you study, you try, you plan, but you never attach your heart to the effort. You attach it to Allah. 2. Trusting Allah with the results. This means you do not break down when things do not go the way you expected, because you know Allah's plan is better than yours. You know what you want for yourself, but Allah knows what you need for your soul. 3. Trusting Allah even when nothing makes sense. This is the highest level. This is when life becomes confusing, when your plans collapse, when everything seems delayed, when people leave, when hardship increases. yet your heart still says, Ya Allah, I trust you. This is true tawakkul. This is the trust that moves mountains. This is the trust that brings miracles. When you trust Allah, the burden becomes lighter. Because the burden is no longer yours, it is carried by the one who can handle everything. When you trust Allah, the fear becomes smaller. Because you remember the one who protects you. When you trust Allah, the pain becomes meaningful. Because you believe every tear has a reason. Allah never does anything without purpose. Sometimes He delays. Sometimes He hides. Sometimes He tests. Sometimes He takes. But He never leaves you without replacing it with something better, either in this dunya or the next. Tawakkul teaches you that what is written for you will reach you even if the whole world tries to stop it. And what is not written for you will never reach you, even if the whole world tries to bring it. This is freedom. This is liberation from fear. This is peace for the soul. When you have tawakkul, your relationship with people becomes healthier. You do not depend on them for happiness. You do not break when they leave. You do not beg for attention, love, or support. Because your heart is attached to Allah, the one who never leaves, never changes, never turns away. And when Allah is enough for you, you become enough for yourself. Tawakkul also brings blessings. When you trust Allah, He opens doors you never imagined. He sends solutions from directions you never considered. He brings rizq from places you never expected. He removes obstacles you could not move. He protects you from harm you did not know existed. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said that if the believers placed their trust in Allah as they should, He would provide for them like He provides for the birds. They leave their nests in the morning hungry and return full. They do not know where their food will come from. They just do their part, and Allah does the rest. This is tawakkul. One of the greatest signs of tawakkul is that your heart remains calm even when your circumstances are not. You live in this world, but your trust is in the Creator of this world. You plan for dunya, but your heart is focused on the akhirah. You get worried, but you do not break. You cry, but you do not give up. You fall, but you rise again. Because the believer knows, if Allah is with me, I have everything. If Allah is for me, nothing can defeat me. If Allah is planning for me, nothing can harm me. If Allah is guiding me, I will never be lost. If Allah is sufficient for me, I will never be empty. This is the power of tawakkul. So today, if your heart is worried, if your mind is tired, if your life feels heavy, turn to Allah. Say, Ya Allah, I surrender to your plan. I trust your timing. I know you will never harm me. I know you will never abandon me. And watch how peace enters your life. You do not have to understand everything. You just need to trust Allah in everything. And before I end this lecture, I want to remind you, if you want more Islamic motivation, heart-softening reminders, and life-changing wisdom, do not forget to subscribe. Your support helps spread the message of Islam to millions around the world.